And welcome in to PressBox Live. I'm Stan the Fan Charles of PressBox and PressBoxOnline.com. Usually Gary Stein is with me on these Wednesday extravaganzas. He'll be back next Wednesday night when our guest will be former UMBC head coach, men's basketball, Ryan Odom, now with Utah State. Our guest, who I'm going to introduce in just a minute, is on to talk about the BMW Golf Championship, which will take place at Caves Valley in late August. And we'll talk to our guest, Vince Pellegrino, in just a second. Wanted to tell you that this show is brought to you by C3 American Exteriors. Go to their website at c3america.com to get a brand new roof for just the cost of your insurance deductible. And again, as I say each and every Monday and Wednesday when they sponsor these Zoom chats, that there is no greater expense you'll have on your home than fixing or repairing your roof. And in that case, you want to work with somebody you know, somebody you trust, and somebody that is there for you. C3 American Exteriors, the place to go. All right. Their website, c3america.com. And Vince, I'll bet the fact that you're with the you're the senior vice president of tournaments for Western Golf Association. I'll bet if you came to town, you would hire them to do your roof, wouldn't you?
For sure. If you're recommending them, I'm in.
All right. Hey, Vince, I really do appreciate your joining us. And I'm trying to get out in front of this a little bit because I know the media day for the BMW Championship is going to be, I think, June 28th out at Caves Valley. But at that time, folks will still have 2 months to get their tickets and get involved in this. But I wanted to jump out in front of it because I'm getting the sense that the golf fanatics really are aware of this and are excited already.
Well, they are. And I think if it's any evidence, it's evidenced by the fact that we filled up about 2,000 volunteer positions in a little less than 2 weeks when we launched it last year, which is, the quickest we've ever filled up for volunteers. We actually have too many volunteers and we actually had to cut it off and start a wait list. But, it's a golf starved market. I mean, we just don't have a regular PGA Tour event. And, the golf fans know about it. We want everybody to know about it, though, because it's the best 70 players in the world that are going to descend upon the greater Baltimore area and play one of the most fantastic golf courses in the region at Caves Valley. So people are really excited about it. Ticket sales are growing very well so far, really kind of pacing ahead of where we were at in 2019 when we were on sale at Medina, which was obviously the last time we had spectators. And our corporate hospitality is almost sold out. So I think we've got very little left, some upgraded tickets, but yeah, it's been tremendous. And we've been received with open arms, which is great.
Not to dwell on this, because I do want to talk about the tournament, but I read in the notes that this is only the second time that the East Coast will have had this tournament in a good while. And I noticed looking ahead to next year, Wilmington, Delaware's got it. Is there a move by the Western Golf Association to try and have this more equally distributed around the country?
Well, I think our strategy is to go to really good golf courses that test the best players in the world, go to places that are golf starved, that don't have golf tournaments on a regular basis, and really try to spread the word of the scholarship, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit, the Evans Scholars Foundation, into markets that, may not have heard about our great Caddy Scholarship, which all proceeds benefit, of the tournament will benefit. So going to Wilmington next year is part of that strategy. And we were at Aronimink in Philadelphia in 2018 and had a tremendous event on the East Coast. And yeah, I mean, we're based here in Chicago, the Western Golf Association, but we want to spread it around the country. And that's the beauty of this championship being a playoff event, is that we take it to different markets each and every year. And, if you miss it this time, I'm not sure when we're going to be back.
So the Western Golf Association, I just want to be clear on this. This tournament used to be referred to as the Western Open. Is that because has always been identified with the Western Golf Association?
Yeah, really, in 1899, West was Chicago. So, that's we kind of sprouted up in Chicago to really serve everybody on the West, in the West, and the Western Golf Association started the Western Open in 1899, and it is the oldest PGA Tour event on the schedule. So yeah, I mean, it's we run that this championship obviously is our flagship event, the BMW Championship, but it was considered a major back in its day.
And it became the BMW Championship in 2006, correct?
So 2007 was the first year
Okay.
of the BMW Championship, was hosted at Cog Hill, and then 2008 we went to Belle Reef Country Club in St. Louis, and that started moving the championship around. But it really goes back to its roots in the early days of the Western Open. It used to be a championship that traveled all around to Western Golf Association partner clubs.
And it's got the history and reading who's won the tournament. Jimmy Demerit, Walter Hagen won it 5 times. Some incredible names: Byron Nelson, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, and the guy I used to love, Billy Casper, won it 4 times, which was more than any of the great players in the 60s. 70s.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a who's who of professional golf has won the championship, and that's really kind of carried forward into the BMW Championship with the past winners of this championship as well, with Tiger winning multiple times, and we've had Dustin Johnson win a couple times, Rory McIlroy, Justin Rose, Justin Thomas. I mean, the list is really pretty tremendous of who's won the championship just in recent years too.
Now, one of the hottest names in golf the past week has been Jon Rahm. Yep. And he is ironically the defending champion of this tournament. Will he most likely be here for this tournament?
Yeah, he will, and he's certainly up on the FedEx Cup points list. So it's the top 70 players in the FedEx Cup points, and guys like Bryson DeChambeau and Spieth and Justin Thomas and Hideki Matsuyama, Brooks Koepka. Rahm is right up there. He's definitely within the top 30 right now, and obviously was playing great this past week until the unfortunate, diagnosis with COVID. But he's our defending champion, and we look forward to seeing him at Caves.
He's got that money to make up that he lost last week.
Yeah.
Is there any chance Phil Mickelson will be there, or he's not playing enough to be up there in the FedEx points?
Well, with Phil winning, he just recently he does earn the FedEx Cup points, so he's eligible to play as long as he stays in that top 70. There's a chance that he will play in the playoffs.
All right, that would be truly exciting. So I want to ask you a little behind the scenes. We know here that Caves Valley is a tremendous course. What about Caves Valley kind of got the deal done, and have they had to make any changes to the course to adapt to what the parameters or what you were looking for?
Yeah, so let's take a look at the golf course first and foremost. They have put a lot of resources into their biggest asset, which is the golf course. It's a Tom Fazio designed course. It's going to look absolutely spectacular on television. It's going to test the best players in the world, and they've really put the dollars back into the golf course to make some tweaks here and there. Maybe extend some teeing grounds, redo some bunkers. They've worked on some drainage and some irrigation. It's a fantastic golf course as is, but these are the best players in the world, and we want to make sure that we test their capabilities, especially in a playoff event. So they've definitely invested the resources. But, looking at Caves Valley outside of the competition, outside the ropes, which is what we have to look at as well, there are some fantastic viewing areas on the back 9. We are going to flip the 9s, so their front 9 will be our back 9. But so their 9th hole, our 18th hole, as it'll play, has just an incredible amphitheater all down the right-hand side where you'll be able to see golf playing 18, look over to 11. Just right next to it will be the demanding par 3 17th. It's going to create a lot of excitement down the stretch with having a par 5, a par 3, and then a really good par 4 up the hill back to the clubhouse, to finish it off. So the golf course is great. The way they treat you, the hospitality at Caves Valley is second to none. It's just a really overall, just a tremendous piece of property with just some tremendous vistas. And I think it's going to be a great experience for our spectators once they come out this August.
Now, I just wanted to ask you, the success of this tournament, would that go a long way in getting Caves or Maryland highly thought of again for another tournament in the future?
Yeah, I think that's a given. You know, when and it happens with the USGA or the PGA of America, when they go to venues that they've had tremendous success, they want to get back as soon as possible because you know, it's nice to be wanted. It's nice to have you know, the fans show up, the volunteers come out, and the corporate community really rally around, and not to mention you know, the government entities that we're working with right now, the state of Maryland, the Baltimore County officials that we're working with to make sure that it's a safe event with police and traffic control. I mean, all those factor into the decisions to come back. And I tell you right now, it's you know, let's have the tournament. Let's get through the event this year. But it's we've had a tremendous experience so far with everybody involved in creating what we hope is going to be a tremendous championship.
And again, I just want to remind everybody who might be tuning in right now on Facebook Live, we're talking with Vince Pellegrino. He's the Senior Vice President of Tournaments for the Western Golf Association. He's in charge of running the BMW Championship, which is coming to Caves Valley August 24th through 29th. The big kickoff is going to be the media day on June 28th. And what should people know now about how they can get tickets? Is there a website that I should be jotting down to give out to people?
Yeah, for sure. And people are not invited to media day. It's a closed event.
Right.
But I'm joking around. That's going to be a great lead up to the championship. But really, to get tickets for the tournament proper, we'll be on bmwchampionship.com. That's where you can go to get all the information. Tuesday is going to be a practice round. Wednesday is going to be a pro-am, which is, you know, it's a great day to come out and see the players a little bit loose, you know, practicing, playing with the amateurs. And that's the largest fundraiser we have all year for the Evan Scholars Foundation. And then the tournament kicks off Thursday through Sunday. And the neat thing about this event, it is 70 players, and it's 70 players for 4 days. So you don't have to, if you don't get a chance to come out Thursday, Friday, those same 70 players will be there over the weekend, no matter how they play, which is a little different than other championships in that they have a cut and that they usually whittle down to 70 in ties. This will be 70 players all 4 days.
Now, we're going to get into talking about the charity that this benefits, but I just wanted to ask you, not that your job is to help the economy of the state of Maryland, but this has a big impact, and I was hoping you might be able to, you know, kind of give your view about what kind of economic impact this will have on the state of Maryland.
Yeah, and the PGA Tour has done studies about this, and we estimate it's about a $30 million impact to the local economy. And we have, you know, players and caddies and vendors and volunteers that travel and stay in the hotels and go to the restaurants and shop throughout championship week. Tax dollars that are generated at the championship themselves, you know, all going back into the local economy. And, you know, listen, everybody knows we've obviously had a pretty big downturn the past year and a half or so. And, you know, this is one of those events that, you know, we're going to perform in a safe manner. The great thing about golf is it's outside, and you know, we're not sure where our attendance is going to lie at this point. We're planning on it being hopefully, you know, back to normal, what we normally have, but it's a good shot in the arm, so to speak, to the local economy as well, and we can be proud of that.
Yeah, no question about it, and it's a great point to make. And I want to be clear, it will be cicada-less, right? There will be no cicada in late August, correct?
I hope so. I hope there's not. You know, a lot of cleanup. But you know, I haven't been down there in a couple of weeks, and let's hopefully they're gone by the time the championship rolls around.
Yeah, they're a lot less loud today than they were the last 6 or 7 days, so they're on their way. All kidding aside, this tournament, it does benefit the Evans Scholarship Foundation. And tell the folks a little bit about the Evans Scholarship Foundation and what sending caddies to college is all about.
Well, yeah, it's an integral part of this championship, and not many people know that all PGA Tour events benefit charity. Some championships benefit multiple charities. Some championships benefit hundreds and thousands of charities in their local community. Ours just happens to benefit the Evans Scholars Foundation. So whether you volunteer or purchase a ticket or buy hospitality, all the money at the end of the day is going to go back to the Evans Scholars Foundation. And it's a caddy scholarship at its heart. So I received the scholarship myself to attend.
You were a recipient of the caddy.
I was, yeah. And so, we've sent over 11,000 kids to college on full tuition and housing scholarships since 1930. So each year we reached a milestone in 2019. We're sending over 1,000 kids to 19 different universities across the country on full college scholarships, and really it's a life-changing scholarship. So, we anticipate we will send kids from the community and across the country with proceeds from this championship, to college. And, they're kids that have great grades, they have financial need,
right,
and they are caddies for a minimum of 2 years. Those are the three qualifications. And, with all the proceeds, we'll donate them back to the Evans Scholars, and we'll be able to send more kids to school. But again, I can't really explain how it's changed my life and the trajectory of my life and my career because of the scholarship. And if there's one story, there's 1,000 stories each year that are truly life impacting because of the scholarship.
Can you explain, when you were young, in your teens, late teens, how did you find out that you could potentially be eligible for this? And is that why you caddied for a couple of years, aside from making bucks?
Well, I think I decided caddying because I was going to make a few bucks. I think my parents had ulterior motives with me caddying. So they actually found out about the scholarship,
okay,
and they pushed me to go, get a summer job. I am a firm believer that this is the best summer job, regardless of the scholarship,
right,
for kids. And, to get out, exercise, earn a dollar, learn the value of hard work, to be able to speak to adults, communicate properly. There's so many values that can be learned just through caddying. It's a great summer job. And I was pushed into it, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't know anything about golf at the time, and a lot of these kids don't. But it's a lifelong game that you can learn by watching. And ultimately, being on the golf course is just an incredible summer job. But I learned through a family dentist of ours who happened to be a member of the club, who told my mom about it. She pushed me to go do it, and there I was, every day over the summer, pretty much, and weekend getting up early and going out to caddy and learning a lot along the way.
And that fueled your love for the game, I would imagine. It still exists, and it's become your livelihood.
Yeah, it's become my passion, really.
Yeah.
I ended up caddying. I truly fell in love with the game of golf. Went to Indiana University and really didn't know what I wanted to do in my career. And, I knew it was something in business, but Indiana has a really good sports marketing program. I decided to go down that route, but really follow my passion. And, I wake up pretty fortunate every day to be doing what I'm doing. And it was all because of the Evans Scholars Foundation.
Speaking of the sports marketing end of things, you guys are working with Maroon PR here in town. And I know you've worked with some high-level PR people all around the country. We've known John since he was Oriole PR director the year that Cal Ripken passed Lou Gehrig. He's really at the top of his game.
They've done a wonderful job. It's, and again, that's part of us coming to a city and using vendors locally and using people who know the city, the ins and outs. But John and Maroon PR have been just fantastic to work with. And, it's really been helpful for us to get the word out and talk to the right people about, this great championship that's coming to town.
And Matt Williams, of course, helped set up this interview. And Matt was at one time the PR director for the Washington Wizards over down in Washington, D.C., the NBA team. I did want to revisit one thing. I know you made it clear that you are out of space for volunteers. But whenever you hear about a golf tournament, it's amazing how important the volunteers are to the success of putting on the tournament. Could you talk about that for a minute or two?
No, it's a great point. I mean, it's really they are the lifeblood of the championship. I mean, they are the ones putting in the countless hours to be able to help us raise money for charity. Listen, they've got a great inside the ropes. A lot of them do, to be able to see the best players in the world, and that's why they do it. And so it's a win-win for both parties. With having the marshals out on the golf course, to having the folks that are walking with the players to keep score, which is really, important for, PGA Tour Live and scoring online, to the people who are helping us out with admissions, to taking tickets, to picking up players from the airport and dropping off their vehicles, and BMW gives us a great fleet of vehicles for the players to drive around town. So I'm sure people will see those all over, in the next couple months. But it's really important that we have a good group of volunteers, and a lot of them travel across the country and do this week in and week out on the PGA Tour, and so they're going to be coming to town with a lot of experience and staying in Baltimore. But it's really important that we get a great volunteer crew to be able to run this championship, and it seems like we've got a pretty good group of people this year.
Vince, I'm guessing, and this is just me, my gut's telling me about 75% of the people that attend an event like this are passionate about golf and kind of have been to golf tournaments before. But there's a large group of people that this will be the first time ever doing that. Do you have some tips how to watch a golf tournament? I'll give you an anecdote. About 5-7 years ago, we had a Grand Prix style auto race in downtown Baltimore. And for auto racing, all it was is, there's the cars. And then like about 15 minutes later or 8 minutes later, there's the cars. And you sort of I never got the sense of what watching the race was like. But for golf, it's a lot different. And there must be some smart ways to watch a golf tournament.
Yeah, there is, and there's not one right or wrong way to do it. If you want to see the golf course, my recommendation would be it's gonna be difficult picking a group that might not be a marquee group, because all the players are tremendous. But find that one group that may not have the largest following, and I would start at the first hole and walk. And it's a good walk at Caves Valley. There's no question about it. There's a lot of terrain. It's up and down. It's going to be good exercise. And, if that's what you're into and you want to see the golf course and see some amazing golf, because all these top 70 players are just tremendous golfers, you can walk from 1 to 18. And, we actually do that to make sure that a spectator can see all 18 holes and walk, outside the ropes and see that. Now, that's not for everybody. So what I typically like to do is to go to a par 3, and 17 would be a great spot, or maybe one of the holes a little bit further out, like a 13, and sit on the hillside and try to get some shade and watch every group go through and watch the best players and see them, and you could get to see everyone that's going to come through, because they're gonna start on hole 1 and get through, and in that case, maybe show up a little bit later in the afternoon, grab some lunch and have a picnic and really see the best players in the world. And in some cases, it's hopping between some holes and getting some good vistas, depending on where the sun is and how hot it is, and just taking some shade. And we've got a beer garden at the championship where you'll be able to catch the championship on the Jumbotron if you want to take a break and just have lunch or breakfast in the morning. And it's a long day, and you can see all of it, from multiple spots. But there's going to be a few areas that you can sit out and watch some great golf. And there's a lot of good amphitheater seating on the golf course without basically sitting in a physical chair.
Are you allowed to bring any kind of lawn chair or anything for seniors or somebody that might want to pick out a spot and kind of hang there for a while?
Yeah, so the folding chairs and the bags, that you can fold up without the hard, stiff arms, or you're able to bring them out and put them near a green and sit there all day. but again, there's a lot of space that just a nice, amphitheater that you can sit, like I said, right of 18 or at various holes along the way to really watch some great golf. But yeah, you can bring out those chairs.
All right. And again, the website that I'm seeing is bmwchampionship.com. And that would be the best way to check on ticket availability. Is one ticket the same as every other ticket, or how does that work?
Yeah, so there's various levels of tickets. There is a grounds ticket. That's our basic ticket. It allows you to come out to the championship, walk all 18 holes, see everything outside the ropes. Then there's elevated tickets. So there's what's called our trophy club ticket that allows you to get into a venue. It's air conditioned. It's got views of the 16th and 17th holes. It allows you to, sit inside or get some shade and purchase food and beverage. And then there's, it goes up from there where there's an all-inclusive ticket into our 1899 club that's positioned between the 11th and 18th holes.
Right.
And then if you really want to get fancy, we've got what's called our Green Coat Club, where there's valet parking on site. Ruth Chris is going to cater it. It's kind of a sit down. You can order off the menu with just multiple views of golf on 13 and 14. And that's a little bit of a higher end ticket, but we've got something for everybody.
And I'm not asking you this to dissuade people. When people come there, though, on that Thursday, the first day of the actual tournament, there is play on Tuesday and Wednesday, but the first day, where are they going to be able to park? How should they be prepared for when they get there, where they're going to be able to park and how far it's going to be to get to where they want to watch some golf?
Yeah, sure. So there's multiple ways to get to the championship. I would recommend we post all the parking information on our website now to kind of take a look through that. You've got to register to park ahead of time, so we know you're coming. So we're gonna have the proper transportation logistics. Uber, Lyft, rideshare will be right across the street from the championship, which we think is a really convenient way to get there. But I would just recommend checking out our parking information online at bmwchampionship.com.
Last question. When people arrive, is there sort of a map or some type of piece of information that's going to show them the course and so they can map out their plan, or should they be doing that by going to the website first?
I don't think there's any. I mean, if you want to do some research as to, who's playing when, who's teeing off, that might be something you want to look at ahead of time, as well as a course map. But once you arrive, it's called the pairings guide. They'll have them on site as soon as you enter the gate. It's a little, booklet or pamphlet that talks about where the concessions are, where the restrooms are, what hole is which, and also give the pairings for the day. Those will be released earlier in the week as far as the pairings are concerned, so you can kind of decide what time you want to show up to see your favorite player. But yeah, everything will be available once you get on site.
Hey, Vince, you've got me excited already, and you did what we wanted to try and accomplish tonight. To get the word out and get people starting to say, hey, I just saw that thing with Stan the Fan. This is a big deal because it doesn't come to town. It's like the old days of the circus coming to town. It doesn't come to town often.
No, it doesn't. And we're really excited about it. And it's nice to be in a great sports town. Like Baltimore. They love their golf, they love their sports, and we're just excited to be a part of it and bring the best 70 players in the world and obviously give back to the community along the way.
I'll look forward to meeting you on the 28th of June, a media day, and I'll look forward to helping to promote the tournament any way we can here. Again, the BMW Championship, which is going to take place at Caves Valley, August 24 to August 29. And again, the website is bmwchampionship.com. We've been talking to Vince Pellegrino, Senior Vice President of Tournaments for the Western Golf Association. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks so much, Dan. Appreciate it.
Thank you very
take care.
much.
All righty.
And before we leave, wanted to remind you again that Press Box is brought to you by C3 American Exteriors. Go to their website at c3america.com to get a brand new roof for just the cost of your insurance deductible. And again, C3 has been with us for 3-4 months now, and I like to mention them before and after each of our interviews here. And I want to again tell you that there is no greater expense you'll have on your home than fixing, repairing, or getting a brand new roof. So again, if you're doing that, if you're in the market for that, try and find people you know, you like, and you trust. And I know the people at C3 American Exteriors. I trust them, and I like them. I really do. All right. Pressbox Live has been brought to you by C3 American Exteriors. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Ross Grimsley and I will be back on next Monday with a baseball guest. And then again, next Wednesday, Gary Stein and I will have the former head coach of UMBC Retrievers men's basketball, Ryan Odom. He's now the head coach of Utah State, but he wants to pay a little visit to some people he used to know here in town. We appreciate that. So for all of us at Pressbox and PressBoxOnline.com, we'll say adieu.